Hi everybody. Finally 2021 is here. 2020 was a really tough year for all of us, right? A year where we learned a lot of things and hopefully we can instill that learning into our next years of life. It's during adversities that we really learn. I remember the famous quote by Einstein saying that it's during adversity that a man finds himself. This year 2020 was a good year for me in terms of learning, because I was able to improve my knowledge, and I hope everybody has learnings in 2020. And I would like to share my 5 biggest learnings that I had in 2020, and these are mainly from books that I've read and which has touched me really and has helped me to be a better person. And I hope when I share these skills, if it's new to you, for sure this can also help you in making your life more productive. Here are the top 5 lessons that I learned in 2020, which when I learned it for the first time, it was really life-changing for me, and I found it really helpful to apply into my daily life and see results immediately. Okay, so I'll start with the first one. Okay, it's from a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear, and the concept that really touched me in this book is basically the concept of 1% improvement. And what exactly is this? It's a very simple formula that you can apply to your daily life. It's if you try to improve yourself every day by 1% of what you were yesterday, at the end of 1 year, you'll be 37 times better than what you were at the beginning of the year. This really changed my life. I mean, if you think of it, 1% is not much, right? If you're trying to learn a new skill, if you're trying to develop a new habit, the motive behind this should be to improve just 1% every day. And then you can see that this tiny increment building up over the days, and by the end of 1 year you'll be 37 times better than yourself compared to what you were in the beginning of the year. That is the power of increments, or the power of compounding. This is also applied in finance. If you start saving small amounts at the end of a particular period of time, long period of time, you will end up saving a lot of money. This is the same applied in productivity. Second lesson is something called as the 2-minute rule. So we all try to keep activities towards the next day, and the next hour. It happens with all of us at some point of time. We always push tasks to the next day, or we think that okay, we'll do it the next time. So what I learned how to approach this problem is called the 2-minute rule, and it's very powerful. And the author again in Atomic Habits, it says in this book that if you're planning an activity, start it immediately for 2 minutes. Okay, because why do we procrastinate? Because we think the effort is too much and we don't see the results coming in, right? These are the 2 things why people procrastinate. And this 2-minute rule actually does something really powerful, is that it tells us that you're allowed to do this activity only for 2 minutes, and then you can stop, and you're allowed to stop. So that cuts out the first part, the effort part of it. So we think that okay, after 2 minutes I can relax, I don't need to do this activity. So we think that's it, and we start the activity. But actually how the psychology works is, once we start an activity, the hard part is done. It's like moving a car. The initial part is the most tough part, when you gain momentum, or when you want the momentum, when you want to overcome the inertial forces. Okay, once that is overcome, it's very easy to move the car. And the same fundamentals apply here also. It is the initial part which is the most difficult one. So if you think that okay, I'm going to do this activity only for 2 minutes and then I stop, it's likely that you continue doing that activity. Okay, for example, if you want to go running for half an hour, you're procrastinating, okay, I'll do it the next day. The first thing you need to do is put on your shoes. That's 2 minutes. Once you put on your shoes, it's most likely that you go out rather than sit at home. So if you can frame your mind that I'll be working on it only for 2 minutes and then I'm allowed to leave out of it, this will help you to go on and accomplish that task for that day. And this was really powerful in my life. Once you do that, then it's more likely you continue with the activity. For example, if you want to go to the gym every day for half an hour, your focus should be to go there for 2 minutes. Go to the gym, after 2 minutes I'll come back. This should be your thought process. Once you are in the gym, because you're already in the gym, your mind will convince you to stay here. This is how it works. And this has been really powerful for me. If you want to read a book, your target should be to read 2 lines in 2 minutes. But once you open the book and when you start reading 2 lines, you'll automatically go to the next line. This is really powerful for me. Coming to the third rule, it's called the 80-20 Pareto Principle. And this is a concept that I developed from the 4-hour work week from Timothy Ferriss, famously known as Tim Ferriss. 80-20 principle is really powerful because I've studied about Pareto Principle a lot during my studies, but then I've never applied it to my real life. And how it talks about in this book is basically the results of everything in life. 80% of results is based on 20% of your work. What does it mean? Let's take, for example, a regular work day. The task that you accomplish in that day, 80% of it is due to 20% of the effort and time. And the rest 80% of your time and effort doesn't go actually into productive things. Okay, so this is the real concept. So identifying that 20% of where you need to work to get the 80% result is the key. Be it in anything. Okay, its distribution is like that throughout the world. For example, 80% of the wealth of a society is being produced and owned by 20% of its population. If it comes to a business, 80% of the revenue of the business will be driven by 20% of the customers. Rest 80 will be here and there. Rest 80% of your customers will be driving only 20% of your business. So if you are really understanding this division, you can concentrate really on that 20% of your customers to build your business even further. Okay? So this can be applied to everything in life that we do. In our courses that we study, in our learnings that we do, all should be taken as this 80%, 80-20 Pareto principle, so that we can get the maximum out of each and everything that we do. The fourth, it's a small change in mindset, just a small shift in mindset. It is a slight variation of how we frame words. Okay? This is really powerful when I first saw it. We all complain a lot, right? In the sense like, I have to. Okay? For example, I have to get up early in the morning at 5 to go to work. I have to. I have to take care of my kids. I have to. I have to wash the dishes. I have to cook. Okay? Now just imagine when you replace the word have to with the word get to. That changes the entire picture, right? I get to wake up early in the morning. Okay? I get to do this complex problem at work. I get to come back, look after my kids. Okay? I get to change the nappy of my baby. So it changes the entire perspective, right? What does it mean? That means you are privileged, right? You get to do this when many other people don't have the opportunity or possibility to do this. So a change of have to get to can really change the perspective and the mindset. And that is when you give in your best and try to come out with the best of yourself in that particular activity that you're doing. So one small change in your shift of mindset can definitely go a long way in getting that task done in the most productive and effective way. So that was lesson number 4. Coming to the last lesson, number 5, is regarding relationships. Okay, this concept I got from the book called How to Win Friends and Influence People from Dale Carnegie. And this is a very interesting concept. Often we think our life is the center stage of everything happening around us, right? Our life is the center stage. Okay, everybody thinks like that. I think like that. You think like that. Everybody thinks like that, right? But when we approach relationship, when you approach people in a relationship, we don't think that they're also involved in that picture. Because I think that my life is the movie that I'm watching, right? But it's the same with everybody who is living this world, right? For example, I always hear this famous scenario. If you have a group picture, where do you look at the first? Do you look at yourself or somebody else? Always yourself, right? So the first thing that you look in a group picture where you are in is basically how do you look or how are you, right? Why do we do that? It's because we are human. That's an inbuilt character. So we think that our life is the center stage and it is only our lives that matters. Another example. You have a small cut on your finger, or let's say a tooth pain, okay? And you read in the newspaper there is an explosion in, Afghanistan and 20 people are killed. You feel pity at that moment, but then what matters most is your tooth pain or your cut on your finger, right? That worries you more than what happened with so many people dying in Afghanistan, right? So this is a very intuitive phenomenon that happens inside us, that we think about ourselves more often than others. Okay? So the thing that I need to do is I need to think from the other person's point of view, what they want. So when I'm approaching a person with something that we are in a relationship or a particular thing that I need to get done from them, I need to always approach it from what they want rather than what I want. Okay? For example, a famous example that is given in this book is basically when I go fishing. Okay? So when I go fishing, I hook a worm into the hook and fish it. So that's what the fish wants. I would want some strawberries and ice creams. Okay? but I don't hook strawberries or ice creams into the hook. I hook worms. That's what the fish wants. So basically, that's how you fish the fish, right? That's how you catch the fish. It's by giving the fish what it wants. In the same way, in a relationship, if you want to get something from a relationship, you need to give what they want. You should not ask what you want. Okay? You should ask what they want, give them what they want, so that they can give you what you want. That's how it works. It's a very powerful image that can help you in relationships, whether it's with your boss, whether it's with your family, whether it's with the children. Think from their perspective, what they want, and how can you give that to them so that they can give you what you want. Hope these 5 learnings have helped you in some way. Okay. The greatest tip that I can give to you is basically start reading. Okay, I started pretty late in my life reading, and reading has helped me to really understand these concepts and get these concepts, because it's very little time that you spend in reading that you can gain a lot of knowledge, and this is really helpful in your long run in developing yourself, in building yourself as an individual. Okay, hope that it helped you, and continue learning, continue studying. Life is a lifelong learning experience. Continue learning from everybody, everyone, whether it is younger people, older people, people who are not privileged. Learn from everybody, learn from everywhere. That's the biggest tip I can give you for 2021. So I hope 2021 will be more productive for you, and you'll find more success in 2021, and hope that everything comes out well for you. God bless.